Welcome to Fan for Racing Radio. I'm Fan for Racing Sharon, and joining me for today's show is Jay Huseman. Today, we are going to be reviewing the ARCA East Series at Rockingham. Pretty exciting to see Rockingham back on the schedule here, Jay.
It was, and we saw some good racing there throughout the weekend. And I guess good racing is relative term. Brent Cruz did some great racing, if you will. We'll get into that here in this review.
Well, go ahead. I was going to ask you for your overall thoughts about the race before we get into our post-race notes.
I know we've talked about this. I'm one that I still consider it a good race. We did have a dominant driver, no doubt, and I didn't know the exact number, but led 121 of 125 laps. But there was somebody right behind him or close behind him. It wasn't a complete blowout, and we've seen things of you can't call it until the checkered flag flies. Especially in these ARCA Menard series. We saw a championship change hands that way of a dominant runaway win that never happened. So, I understand that, especially with drivers like Brent Cruz coming up and becoming more established in the stock car on asphalt, a driver like William Sawalich returning to stomping grounds, if you will. It's kind of to be expected.
Well, we saw some drivers from the Xfinity Series want to come and get some seat time on Rockingham Speedway. So they also raced in the ARCA East Series. The ARCA East had some really interesting, and we'll talk about all of these stats, but they had some interesting things, even though it was dominated with Brent Cruz. But, he's finding his way in the ARCA Menard Series East. He won in the ARCA Menard Series at Phoenix. So he's raced within the platform. So it's kind of cool to see.
Yeah, most certainly. And we'll cover some post-race notes here from the Rockingham ARCA 125. We'll start with Brent Cruz, number 181 Mobile Toyota. I believe it might be a Joe Gibbs Racing machine.
Yes, Joe Gibbs Racing. That's who it is. Okay.
Dominated the weekend there at Rockingham Speedway, and it started from the beginning, turning the fastest lap in practice, winning the General Tire Pole Award in qualifying, and then leading, as I mentioned, 121 of the race's 125 laps on his way to victory in the Rockingham ARCA 125. Cruz ended up finishing 6.142 seconds ahead of his teammate, runner-up finisher William Sawalich in the number 18 Starkey Toyota.
Okay, the win came in Cruz's second career ARCA Menard Series East start. He finished 16th in his only previous East start, and that was at Dover Motor Speedway last May. So quite an improvement for Brent Cruz, for sure.
And there is improvement here because that gives him now 4 victories across the ARCA Menard Series platforms, all coming on 1 mile ovals. However, 2 were on dirt and 2 were paved, and he kind of comes from the dirt background. So keep that in mind. That's what I said. I think he's showing that improvement on asphalt. His previous wins, again, in 2023 was the Illinois State Fairgrounds, 2024 at the DuQuoin State Fairgrounds. Those were your 2 dirt tracks. And then this year in 2025 at Phoenix Raceway that Sharon mentioned.
Okay, now his teammate from Joe Gibbs Racing, William Sawalich, qualified and finished second in his first East appearance of this season. He also finished second in the only other ARCA Menard Series platform start of the season, and that was at Daytona International Speedway.
And I think that's good for him as a confidence booster. I'll talk more about that in a little bit, but Eloy Falcon was in the number 10 Max Siegel Incorporated Chevrolet Rev Racing. He impressed in his ARCA Menard Series East debut. Falcon started 10th and charged through the field to finish 3rd in his first series appearance in the 3rd entry for Rev Racing. Falcon, age 20, is from Mexico City, Mexico, and has wins in both the NASCAR Mexico Truck Series as well as the regular NASCAR Mexico Series.
You know, we get so many drivers that are coming up through the Mexico Series, the NASCAR Mexico Series, and I really like seeing that. So really good news for Eloy Falcon there. And then Patrick Staropoli and driving the number 25 a Toyota for him from Venturini Motorsports. He scored his best career ARCA Menard Series East finish, a fourth, in his first series start since 2015. He did win a race in the ARCA West at Irwindale Speedway, and that was back in 2014, I believe.
And Andy Jakowiak, the number 73 Dax Markets KLAS Motorsports Toyota, he recovered from a brush with the turn 2 wall midway through Friday's optional pre-race practice to come back and finish 5th. And that matches his best career East finish. He also finished 5th in Iowa at Iowa Speedway back in 2024.
Okay, let's talk about Isaac Kitzmiller. He drives that number 79 ALL Construction Chevrolet. He finished 6th to unofficially take over the ARCA Menard Series East Championship points lead. Kitzmiller finished 5th in the season opener at Five Flag Speedway. And let me tell you, right now, after only 2 races, we know there's more to go. But after 2 races, it's pretty tight.
It is, and I think this one's going to be his competitor then, and that's Cole Raz. He's in the number 76 Cyclone Next Gen Travel Centers Ford. He finished 7th to continue his top 10 streak. He's finished among the top 10 in each of his ARCA Menard Series platform starts in 2025, which includes a 2nd place finish at that East opener at Five Flags Speedway.
Okay, and then Lainey Buse in the number 2 Max Siegel Inc. Chevrolet finished in 8th. In her ARCA Menard Series East debut, she became the 15th different female driver to earn at least one top 10 finish in the ARCA Menard Series history. So congratulations to her. That's fantastic.
Last year's Rookie of the Year and what we expect to be a contender this year, LeVar Scott in the number 6 Max Siegel Incorporated Chevrolet finished 9th, but that was after being involved in an accident with Jake Finch, the number 20 Phoenix Toyota on lap 2. Finch spun entering turn 3 and Scott was swept into the outside wall, which damaged the right side of his car. Now, despite that damage, the team effected repairs and was able to soldier on to the finish when he was the first car just off the lead lap.
All right, Spencer Gallagher is back. Driving the number 24, Allegiant Airlines Chevrolet. He had a hard crash in the final minutes of the pre-race practice on Friday, but he was able to continue the weekend in a backup car. Now, Gallagher finished 10th in his first stock car race of any kind since 2018. So not bad.
Now, 2 other championship contenders were involved in separate accidents, which cut their day short. Timmy Hill in the number 56 Hill Motorsports Toyota cut a right front tire and made hard impact with the wall in turns 1 and 2 that ended his day after 43 laps. And Tyler Reif, the number 23 SPS Vegas Fastener Manufacturing Chevrolet, was nudged by Lainey Buse while racing in traffic and grazed the wall in turns 1 and 2, which damaging the right side bodywork, eventually ending his day after the 75 laps. Hill finished 20th while Reif was relegated to a 17th place at the finish.
Okay, now the next race for the ARCA Menard Series East is the Music City 150, and that's at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, and that's Saturday, May the 3rd, so they'll be off for a few weeks. The race will be streamed live on Flow Racing, and complete information, including live timing and scoring data for all on-track activity and live race audio, is also available at arcaracing.com. For up-to-the-minute updates, that's available by following at ARCA_racing on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Always, if you go to the ARCA Menard Series homepage, you can check out the Reese's Sweet Move of the Race, which, again, was Brent Cruz holding off William Sawalich for the lead. Again, there were stretches, and I was listening to the mid part of the race on the MRN radio, which big shout out there. Again, MRN radio covering that midday on Saturday, so I got to listen to part of it. They had some good side-by-side battles. Brent Cruz had the advantage of lane choice, holding on to the bottom lane, and that's where the 4 laps he led. I believe it was William Sawalich on his outside having a half car length lead. Never really completed the pass, but was at least in front of him at the line.
Yes. And you can see complete highlights from the ARCA Menard Series East return to Rockingham over at arcaracing.com as well. And now I will tell you that the ARCA Menard Series is going to be racing this weekend out at Talladega Super Speedway. And that race is going to be at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time at Talladega, and it will be covered by Fox Sports 1. So they'll be on the big stage this weekend for the ARCA Menard Series. Jay and I will give you a complete preview of that race coming up at the end of this week. So anything else you want to point out there, Jay?
No, we'll jump over into the point standings, though. You already talked about Isaac Kitzmiller now leading the points, and they did say unofficially by 3 points over Cole Raz. Again, their stat lines are almost identical, except Cole Raz has led 57 laps versus none for Isaac Kitzmiller. The difference there must be qualifying because they each got 1 top 5, 2 top 10s. Raz has led laps and has a better finish of 4.5 average finish, 4.5 to Kitzmiller's 5.5. However, Kitzmiller does have the 3-point advantage. Then at 68 points, Isaac Kitzmiller at 77, Cole Raz 74. Tyler Reif, 1 top 5 and only 1 top 10, is at 68. Zachary Tinkle at 67. And you got Takuma Koga at 62. Timmy Hill at 61 and Austin Vaughn at 60. London McKenzie, the only other one with making all the starts, all 2 of them, if you will, at 53 points. So other than that, you got Max Reeve and Brent Cruz rounding out the top 10 with a victory each, are at the max 49 points for their showing in picking up the victory.
Yes, yes. So it's going to be fun to watch throughout the season. And, you know, we usually have a lot of comers and goers of the drivers. There's 11 drivers that have raced both races so far. So we'll see how that continues to play out throughout the remainder of the season. But as we mentioned earlier, their next race is going to be on May the 3rd. So that'll be their 3rd race of the season. And we've got an international flavor here with Eloy Falcon and Takuma Koga.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if Takuma Koga is running the entire East Series this year. I know he's always been a West driver, but they've been expanding that. I don't know if the plan is for them to run the entire East schedule or not. Right now, 5th in points, if they can swing it financially, sponsorship-wise, I hope so, because he's in the battle. I'll put it that way. At 62 points, he is only 15 points behind Kitzmiller.
Yeah, I was thinking about that with Patrick Staropoli too, but he did not race at Five Flag Speedway. So he only has 1 race under his belt, but he had such a great finish that I thought it might be nice to see him compete full-time in the East Series if that's possible. With Venturini Motorsports or even with Cook Racing Technologies.
Well, I know I hear this a lot. One way to help make that happen is sponsor him. And I know I ain't got the money to do that. Yeah.
Yes. I don't think my sponsorship would carry him very far. Yeah. Okay. Do watch for more coming soon, unless you have something more that you want to mention here, Jay.
No, I think that pretty much covers it. Again, it's just great to see the racing at the Rock. I mean, yes. Again, were there a few problems? Yes. Even tracks that have been doing things for a while occasionally have issues. So I got nothing but good things to say about the Rock.
Oh, okay, me too. I think that's all great. Also, we have already completed our Truck Series review. Up next on our schedule for today is the Xfinity Series race, and that was quite the race day. We'll have a lot to talk about with the Xfinity Series race, and that's coming up next. And then after that, we have our Hot Topic Sound Off conversation with myself, Jay and Chris Crichton will be joining us at 9 p.m. Central. That's 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And that's going to be on our live stream over at Fan for Racing Radio tonight. We hope some of you will join us for that and comment. And even if you miss the live stream, feel free to leave comments in the comment sections below about any other hot topics, any of the hot topics that we discuss, or even hot topics that you'd like for us to discuss in the future. So we'd like this to be interactive, which is why we're doing the live streams. So whether it's during the live stream or afterwards when you're listening to the podcast, feel free to leave comments.
Most certainly, please. We'd love the engagement. We've had a couple of guests on as far as the hot topics discussion, so getting some different perspective. I know a lot of times I don't want to speak for anybody, but yeah, maybe you get tired of me and Sharon talking. We agree on a lot of things. I'll tell you what, we got some we don't agree on coming up tonight. So tune into Hot Topics. Well, that's right.
So yeah, we have a lot of fun with it. So we like to keep it light. I know I do have my grandkids that watch with us. So the only thing we do ask is that you keep it kid friendly. When we're discussing hot topics, we do a pretty good job of that most times, but we'd ask for your help and support with that as well.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Well, before we go, I just want to say thank you for watching. And yes, we will be talking with you again in our next video. So stay tuned.